Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am Jason in Newton, Illinois, which is the county seat of Jasper County, Illinois. And I am back, pretty much doing a remake of a video I did a few years back, and I thought I'd kind of do a little modernization of it. But I am in the hometown of Burl Ives, its most famous hometown resident. There's a couple markers dedicated to him, plus I'll be visiting his gravesite, which is about 10 minutes away. So let's get this started. Okay, so I'm just not too far from the town square, and it says up there, "Welcome to Newton, Illinois, proudly established 1835. And then, I know I shouldn't call this a marker, but Burl Ives, Jasper County's first Academy Award winner. Visit the memorial 1 block north." Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Did you know that he also won a Grammy? Okay. Nice cigar. Alright, come with me. Okay, so that is the Jasper County Courthouse. A loud motorcyclist. And then just up that way is the famous sitting Burl Ives statue. And there it is. Alright, so it says here, the statue, Burl Ives. The Wayfaring Stranger was born near Hunt City, Illinois, which is not too far from here. Ives was an Oscar-winning actor and folk singer. Best known music, Holly Jolly Christmas and Little Bitty Tear. He portrayed Big Daddy and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and was the voice of Santa the Snowman in the animated feature Rudolph. And then here are some Jasper County notables. That's an interesting resume, like a Newbery Medal, Irene Hunt. And then there's politicians. Yeah, who cares about politicians, right? I'm just kidding. And here's some more notables. Most of them politicians, except for this guy. This guy deserves a little recognition, Noel R. Bales. He was the winner of the 1931 Thompson Trophy flying the GB Model Z. He was killed in a crash attempting a new speed record of over 300 miles per hour. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is how Burl Ives is mostly remembered. He's sitting there with his guitar. And you can sit next to him, photo opportunities and all that. But yes, as it says, one of his most famous recordings was Holly Jolly Christmas, and he did hit the top 10 with Little Bitty Tear back in the early 1960s. Now, Holly Jolly Christmas was released in 1964, and that was when Beatlemania, the British Invasion, and Motown was popular, but it didn't really get much play. Now, a different version was used in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, but throughout the decades, it was played on adult contemporary stations during the holidays. And then Billboard relaxed its rules when playing older songs, so that meant holiday or Christmas songs were eligible to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. So starting, I want to say 10 years ago, this song, the Holly Jolly Christmas song, made the charts, and it has made as high as number 4. However, it can't get past Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms, another grave that I visited, and then Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, or Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. So it is remembered as one of the top 5 songs that came out last century, arguably. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sit next to the dude. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you're probably wondering, well, how did he become an entertainer? Well, now he was the son of a farmer here in Jasper County, one of 7 children. But he was a singer from early on, and he learned his first tunes from his grandmother, who had him singing in the local Baptist church at age 4. In high school, he became a proficient banjo player while athletically active as a fullback on the school team. And he actually originally wanted to be a coach. In fact, he enrolled at Eastern Illinois State Teachers College, but he dropped out after a couple of years. And at that time, jobs were scarce and the Great Depression was all over the country. But he simply became a bum. I know it sounds kind of derogatory, but he was wandering the country, hitching rides, doing odd jobs, and using his musical talents as a busker. In other words, kind of a street guy singing for money. But by 1937, he was in stock company performances, and that led him to New York City. And then a year later, he made his Broadway debut in First of May Productions with the Boys from Syracuse. And then in 1940, he had his own radio show called the Wayfaring Stranger. And then he later went on to become a Grammy winner and an Oscar winner. So yes, small town, a rural boy from Illinois made good. And this statue is here to remind people that you can be anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 10 miles that way on Highway 33 to Mound Cemetery. Join me. Okay, so I'm outside Mound Church as well as Mound Cemetery, which was founded in 1919. A lot of interments here, but you won't have any trouble finding Mr. Ives' monument, as it clearly stands out among all the others. It's just right over there, right in front of me. I'll just go ahead and take you there. Alright, so since the last time I was here, a lot of people have left more flowers and little statues of reindeer. And it looks like a little Lego Jesus. See that guy? Alright. But this is a really nice, beautiful dark granite tombstone. And let me see, I'll see what it says on the front here, but this is the back. And then June 14th, 1909 was when he was born, and he passed away on April 14th, 1995, in other words, 30 years ago. One of America's legendary entertainers whose career spanned more than half a century, crossing all international borders. Equally at home before the royalty of Europe and the farm folk of Midwestern USA. A performer whose unique style adapted to all media. Literary, radio, movies, recordings, nightclubs, Broadway, and concert stage. Carl Sandburg called him the mightiest ballad singer of this or any other century. He lives on through his art. Check this out right here. And next to him are his parents, Frank Ives and Cordelia Ives. And then, I don't know how many siblings he had, but according to Find a Grave, he had at least 6, and one of them did not live very long. Lilburn V. Ives was at least, I mean, might have lived at 2 years old, I don't know, but sadly didn't live a long life. But yes, this is where the hit maker and the Oscar winner rests eternally. I mean, going over his resume would be very long, but he had made a lot of radio and TV appearances. On radio, he was known as the Wayfaring Stranger. On TV, he made appearances on Little House on the Prairie, The Dinah Shore Chevy Show, and Andy Williams Show. And then, at age 70, he retired to the state of Washington, where he spent the rest of his life in, but remained active in music by participating in benefit performances. And he was also a notable contributor to organizations such as Boy Scouts, environmental groups, children's medicine. But he was cremated, and the Masons provided his final tribute. He was involved in Freemasonry from his youth, becoming a de Mole in 1927. Now, the memorial service I don't think was held here, but I know there was one in Los Angeles. But to many audiences, he is known as, well, modern audiences, he is known for his voice acting, especially among the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which a lot of us watched as a little kid. But his body was eventually brought back to his hometown of Newton, where he was laid to rest. I'm going to go ahead and look at his World War II plaque. Thank you for your service as well, and for providing generations of Americans many memories. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Historically Marked, to this remake episode of Burl Ives. And I'm Jason, signing off.